Hi, this is Lucas, and I am covering the Rohanda case. Introduction. Suzanne Thomas, manager of international tobacco products for U.S. Tobacco Incorporated, must decide how she wants to market Primo cigarettes in Rohanda. Rohanda has banned the sale of imported tobacco. Regardless, Primo makes large sale numbers in Rohanda in the form of black market sales. Primo brand manager Supakorn Rashinda submitted to Suzanne a proposal to double the advertising budget, promoting the cigarettes in Rohanda despite not allowing the sale of them, thus increasing the pervasive nature of black market cigarettes. Factual analysis. Rohanda enforces a monopoly on cigarettes they produce nationally. The additional ad budget won't affect prices in Kalanda or Rohanda. American brands have traditionally occupied 20% of sales in Rohanda through the black market. That includes brands besides Primo. Rationalization analysis. Suzanne has the opportunity to rationalize this unethical predicament in three different rationalization categories. Ends justify the means. Suzanne might say that making more money for her company is worth the somewhat illegitimate business practices. Futility. Cigarettes will be smoked and sold illegally whether or not Primos are available on the black market. Materiality. The country doesn't care enough to prevent them from advertising, despite not being legally sold. Who cares if the cigarettes are sold there? Value analysis. The unethical option, going with the proposed plans, might maximize happiness for the employees, or perhaps just the executives of Primo, but fails to maximize the happiness of those involved in the legal Rohandan cigarette trade. The unethical option violates the legal tobacco supplier's sense of autonomy by competing and inconveniencing them. Advertising more might bring in new consumers who wouldn't smoke otherwise, which is bad. Trade-off analysis. The trade-offs of committing the unethical plan includes taking advantage of Rohanda by advertising and increasing desire for illegal products. This makes more money for the company, but also increases illegal activities. Not increasing the budget for advertising means less desire and less proxy law breaking. Action analysis. Increasing the advertising budget, don't increase the advertising budget, or quit. These are the three options I came up with. It didn't seem clear to me that there was much besides this, unless we're allowed to get into like very, very creative actions like, I don't know, not even selling in the neighboring country to Rohanda, or changing the budgeting amounts, or doing something to not allow for illegal sales. But these are the three clear ones to me, and the most likely ones for someone to take in this situation. Frankly, I'm not really convinced there is a moral deficit in advertising the cigarettes. Whether or not something is illegal does not define morality. Plenty of normal and moral things have been outlawed from time to time, and plenty of heinous things have been legal. The act itself must be analyzed for morality aside from legality. I don't see selling cigarettes as being immoral. If the case was about whether or not to sell cigarettes entirely, I would say that selling cigarettes as opposed to not doing so might be unethical. However, it appears that they will be selling cigarettes in the neighboring country of Kalanda regardless, and they already are advertising in Rohanda. As far as I can tell, there isn't anything morally bad about advertising more than they currently are in Rohanda. Just because it is illegal to sell cigarettes does not make it bad to sell cigarettes. If anything, a monopoly on a single product people depend on is dangerous and weakens the economy and autonomy of consumers. I realize this sounds similar to futility, but the case is whether or not to sell more or less cigarettes by proxy of advertising, not whether or not selling any cigarettes is morally unacceptable. Just for argument's sake, as long as consumers are completely educated on the dangers of cigarettes, I don't have any problem with consenting adults consuming them. Just as I am comfortable with adults riding motorcycles or climbing treacherous mountains, people should be allowed to make their own decisions and weigh the risk of them appropriately. It would be a different case if, say, this was the 1960s and cigarette companies were lying or cheating, but assuming that they're advertising legally and they're not swindling people or, again, lying or having doctors make statements about how they're safe or something, as long as everyone is clear about the dangers of them, I simply don't have an issue.